Hello, this is Joanne. Welcome back to my channel. This is bed number 26. This is the caraway bed. And as you can see, the caraway is now dry. I came through and I tried to just pick the caraway seeds off. You can see them here. They're not pulling off. I swear they did in prior years. But if I just rub them a little, they will fall off. So what I'm doing for expediency is I'm just cutting off these little, like the flower heads, and putting them in my bag. So then I will come back, and then when I'm just sitting in front of the TV, I can roll these, put my hand in here. I can roll these off like this, and then I can just winnow them. Now winnowing, what that is it's just the act of getting the stems off. So if I do a little here, so here's a little batch, okay, real easy, in the palm of my hand, and I just can rub them off and see how the seeds just kind of fall. And then what's left is the branch. Now, this is just a little batch, so of course it's easy to do. So then, just a simple fan or screen, and you can blow the what they call chaff. You can blow the chaff off of there. So that's all that is. Now, what do I use caraway for? Well, one, I use these seeds to grow my plants next year. Two, I live in Buffalo, New York, and we have something called a beef on weck. And what a beef on weck is, sorry, vegetarians, it's a roast beef sandwich that's it has a lot of au jus. It's dipped in hot au jus. It's cooked roast beef, but it's usually rare roast beef. Dipped in hot au jus, put on a bun, and the bun is what we call a Kaiser roll. And on top of that Kaiser roll is these kimmerwick seeds and some big salt. You know, the big chunky pieces of salt like you'd have on a pretzel. We can buy it it's easy to buy as kosher salt because then you know what you're getting. There's other types that you can buy. I don't know if it comes as pickling salt or whatever. It makes the best sandwich. I'm a Buffalonian. That's what we eat. So these weck seeds, I can use them for that. Now, they're also good in meat dishes. You can also use them to sprinkle on your vegetables. But it would be careful with your vegetables, and even be careful with your beef dishes. You don't want to put too many seeds on there. They have a very strong taste, which actually, if you take one like this and bite into it, you instantly get the flavor. And it is just, now I'm hungry. It's a good flavor. It's just a, how would I describe it? I would describe it as purple basil-y, dill without being dill, because I'm not always a fan of dill. And just keep putting these in here one after another. So, but that's what this is. This is the bed. It needs to be weeded, and I will come and do that next. But I just wanted to show you what the seeds look like on the caraway. This is from their flower. So that comes from the flower, and these are the seeds right here. And just like your coriander, the seeds, it's just another herb you can use in your garden. I could sit here and pull these off slowly, but then I'd still have chaff. There's still little bits that you can blow away. They tend to be lighter than the seeds. These seeds are very dry, so they're going everywhere. But what I'm going to do is, when I'm done with this, there always is some seeds left over. So what I'm done with this is, whatever's left, I will cut down and just put into the bed. And then what that will do is that will make it so that the seeds overwinter, and then some plants will come up, that's what this is. I do start 1 or 2 plants in the house every winter, just to make sure that there's something here. I really like the caraway. I usually end up, unfortunately, giving most of it away because you don't eat a lot of it. Like, this amount of caraway in my house will last at least 3-4 meals, and we don't eat beef on weck at every meal. And most of the time we buy prepared rolls. But they're good in beef dishes. They're also good on sprinkled on roasted vegetables, but very lightly. Again, I think I just said that, so I'm sorry I repeat myself sometimes. When you get older, you start repeating yourself because you have kids and you don't think they're listening, so you repeat yourself. They're listening. They're just selectively hearing you. So, but this is it. This is caraway. This is a little snippet of my garden. This is what you do and how to use it. And it really, as soon as I get this stuff off and I just have these seeds, they're ready to put into a container. They've dried out here perfectly. They've dried all the way back to the stems. There's no moisture left in them. We have not had rain in 2 days. So these are very dry, which is very nice. Great way to collect them. So happy gardening. And okay. And just like that, I have de-evolved from using the clippers to just pulling the tops off. It happens every year, especially with my hand this year, so, but I'm not going to complain. It's just a little sprain. Just have to wear the brace, but it just makes grabbing things difficult. So don't think you need a fancy clippers. You just need a little bag. You could use a paper bag. I've used paper bags before. I couldn't find any paper bags today. I usually like to keep my seeds in paper bags, at least for a little while they're coming in the house. And then as I'm sitting at the table, I usually get just a bowl. And like I said, I just sit there and I break them down while I'm sitting watching TV or something, or watching the kids. Usually I'm watching a cartoon because, you know, those are my favorite shows, not. But just a simple, just pulling them off the plant. And then some of these, you can see, I didn't get all the seeds off. So what I just do is I throw it, and I put it in the back because my wind blows in one direction, as you can see the way these are falling over. It really kind of shows on the side. So when I plant these, when I put my seeds back in the garden bed, and see how my wind comes in and it just blows things forward. It's just the way the wind works here. So I tend to put the seeds in the back so that when they blow, at least it's got a little distance before it hits the gate. But just a quick update. I just wanted to show you. I showed you with the clippers and I was doing a good job, and I'm like, this hurts. Now what do I do? So I just started grabbing them with my hand. So, and honestly, I have way more than I need here. The rest of them, I'll probably just break them down. I'm going to pull the weeds out of here, break this all down, and flatten it out so that the seeds, and then put the seeds underneath the mulch so they have a chance for next year. So, okay, I'll give you an update in just a few minutes. I don't think you want to watch me just play with my garden. Well, maybe you do. Maybe that's why you watch the show. I don't know why you watch the show. Leave a comment. Tell me why you like to watch me. Is it just because I'm slow and you don't have to pay attention? I hope it's because I'm inspirational. I keep seeing things about new gardeners all the time, and I'd like to give new gardeners encouragement that we don't have perfect gardens. We don't have tons and tons and tons of money to spend on this black plastic and that trellising system. And I mean, this was the cheapest fencing I could find to hold up some of my herbs to keep them from out of the paths. Maybe I have more than some, less than others, but I'm just trying to keep it simple. There's some great homesteading channels out there. Some of them have gotten a little too big for me to ever be. I don't think I'll ever have animals just because my location doesn't really allow for animals. I don't have a big enough piece of property. So parts of channels just kind of turn me off because I'm really interested in the gardening and the vegetable aspect. That's why I really like Am I Gardener. He's a vegetable and herb guy. I like Gardening in Canada because she's all about the soils and debunking myths. And I'm going to give a shout out right now to Marcia at Kansas Misfit. She is a true homesteader. She is growing food to feed herself and her family. This is my little garden, so hopefully you like it. One thing I'd like to say to new gardeners is hold on. Yes, your tomatoes are still green. Yes, my tomatoes are still green. Yes, I've had a batch of tomatoes, but I also started my tomatoes very early indoors. I didn't buy my tomato plants at a nursery, so I know when they were started. They were too big. Some of them were too big when they went out. Some of them were too small. But just hold on. It's coming. I swear. I swear. I swear. Maybe this isn't the right year for them. Maybe next year. Maybe your grow zone is a little different. Maybe you're drier. Maybe you're wetter. I've had a very dry summer. Some people have been inundated with rain. A little blight won't kill a plant. A little blight is just something to be managed. Just know that. Just please don't give up on your plants. I know I posted about my tomato don't give up. I mean, I got 3 tomatoes that I would have never gotten, and I think there's actually more now. Get ready to, when you think things have failed, start a fall garden. You know, you got a bare spot, start something else. I'm making room for my garlic to go in soon. I ordered it. I usually don't order my garlic, but my garlic harvest fell apart the last 2 years, so I really don't have good garlic to plant. So this year I finally decided I'm just going to order, pay the money, because I know for the next 4 or 5 years I'll be using that garlic now. And I'll be able to harvest my own garlic and replant my own garlic. So usually I harvest my garlic in July, and I'll replant it in September, October, maybe even November, depending. So, but happy gardening, good luck, don't give up, keep going. Don't make your garden too big that you can't manage it. Mine was way too big last year. I couldn't manage it. This year I'm feeling so much better, and I'm managing it just as I had it done the first year when I planted it and the second year when I planted it. So you might have setbacks. It might be you, it might be your garden, it might be the weather, but you'll still have your garden. So happy gardening. Keep coming back. And if you get a chance, Kansas from Misfit Gardeners, she is so close to the 1,000 subscribers. She's been there for a little while since I started watching her. Her videos are everything to do with her life, from making food, cooking food. She made some awesome apple fritters, to live streams on Sundays, to, which I keep missing, to just her garden tours. She grows her food to make sure she can sustain her family. She's got the most beautiful black and white cat that is the most lovable thing. And she's got chickens, a couple too many roosters. But she is just a very, very knowledgeable and weed-ridden garden. Her poor garden, she gets Johnson grass. I am so glad I don't get it. I have my own challenges, but she's got this claw. Just if you get a chance to go over, and remember, subscribing doesn't cost you anything. It's not like a magazine subscription. It's merely that our videos will show up in your feed and you can watch them. And we really would appreciate it if you watched them to the end. It helps the YouTube. If you like these kind of videos, watch them to the end. It really helps the algorithms. If you don't like this kind of video, don't subscribe and don't watch. We're looking for people who like these kind of little backyard gardens. I'm probably on about 30 little gardens, all low subscribers, and we're not really doing it for the money. We're just doing it so we can show people the real side of gardening, not the glamorous Martha Stewart side. You know, she's got a beautiful garden, but I don't have a gardener that can take care of it for me. I got to take care of this myself. I got a little garden, a little budget, and I don't have peacocks, and probably never will. So, all creativity to you, Martha. I love you. I think you're great at cooking. But when I see your gardening posts, I just, oh, sorry. It's not my garden, and it's not many of the gardens I see, and it's not the struggles we have. So, but love you. All right, love you all. I really do. I'm glad people are watching me at all. I'm so surprised sometimes. Okay, I'm going to get the rest of this caraway and clean this bed up, and then I'll give you an update. Okay, bye. Happy gardening. Okay, we're still at the caraway bed. And as you can see, I've finished breaking down the stalks. So here's the rest of the stalks. There's still quite a few seeds on here, but honestly, I have so many seeds right now, I'm perfectly fine. What's left in this bed were either some of the seeds that came off the plants and germinated. So I do have caraway here. Caraway, when I bought it, was sold to me as a biennial, meaning I should have not gotten anything the first year, but I did get something the first year. I had seeds the first year. I had flower set the first year. And I've had flower set every year. Some years are heavier than others. So what I just do with this bed is I leave the caraway that's here so that the roots can overwinter. The ones that have dried and come out, they're gone. So there's the roots, you can see. There's nothing left of them. That plant is done. Plants do go through cycles. Right now I'm just looking for little weeds. The act of me moving, of having the seeds in the soil and moving the mulch around like this, especially when I've got this, will actually plant seeds for next year. I will actually even take some, when I get some of this down, I'll sprinkle some seeds in here too and put them in the ground. Not all seeds will overwinter. It's just the way it is. You know, you can plant 400 seeds and they're not going to all overwinter unless you've got some kind of plant that likes to overwinter. Maybe it starts growing ahead of time or whatever. In my case, I find that I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plants right now. I will probably have 2 or 3 by spring, and then I will start to see the shoots come up for the rest of the plants. Now, the sticks that are left over, I'm just going to break this down. They are hollow stemmed. They're not very strong. I can break these with my left hand. They're not very strong, but what extra plant material does to your soil, just like the mulch, is it just gives it that little air cushion so that when the winds of the buffalo winter come along, it's got a little bit of like air cushioning. It's kind of like, you know, my daughter does it all the time. She hides behind her dad at the bus stop in the winter because he breaks the wind. He keeps her from getting cold. So I'm just going to throw these sticks back on. I will give it some more mulch. And now that I'm just making sure that there's no more green in here. I'm trying to get us out as many weeds as possible. I anticipate that there will still be weeds. That's just the nature of garden beds. Even raised garden beds, don't let anybody ever sell you on the fact that, you know, if you have raised beds, you won't get weeds. You will get weeds. They will blow in. They will crawl in. They will come on your clothes. The seeds will get there. The plants themselves will climb in. They will be in the soil, whatever. So now what I'm going to do is, now that I've got this set, I've got a handful of caraway seeds here. I'm just going to give it a generous sprinkling. Like I said, not all these are going to make it. I like to always put them in the back of the bed because it flops in the front. I'll just give this a little stir. Now, I'm not expecting any rain, so I'm hoping that these don't germinate. I know that sounds crazy, but I want them to kind of remain dormant. So one of the things that I noticed that even a gardener I follow does is he likes to pre-soak his seeds. And that's great. That's how I do my bean seeds. But I'm going to tell you that if you pre-soak your seeds, you've just set them up, that they better be getting steady water. Now, he has steady water on them, as much as he can, but he's in a desert. My thought is just leave them in the seed bank. I want these to stay in the seed bank. If they start to sprout, okay. I have seeds now that I'm going to be starting in the spring. And you can actually see, I don't know if you can see this in the bag, but the seeds are starting to break up already, and there's solid seeds on the bottom because they're heavier than the chaff. I'm not quite sure how to say that. So I'm just planting these as kind of like putting them in the seed bank, letting them be there, and then I will grow. Last year I only grew only one plant made it successfully, but I usually start 2, maybe 3. I think I'll just stick with 2 because these have successfully been coming up every year. Like I said, they're supposed to be a biennial, but I did get seeds the first year, which they should, according to what I read, they should not have done that in the first year. And you can see there's still some seeds on here. And they can stay up. The nice part about this is they'll stay up, they'll stay dry, and then they'll fall. And that's probably why I get more in the front. So, but that's it. The garden's bed is clean. There's just some more caraway plants left in here. Caraway is in the carrot family, is in the, also in the family of Queen's Anne lace. So that's why they look like carrots, but they're not. You can actually smell. They smell just slightly different than carrots. They're not quite a dill. I'm not a dill fan. But they just have a nice flavor. So if you ever get a chance to get a caraway seed and try it, you could see the possibilities in some of the dishes you make. Or look them up online. Say, what can I make with caraway? I do use them in cooking, but there's no way I'm using this amount. I use very little in my cooking. I use them mostly in the garden to keep the plants going, keep perpetuating them. So, but this is my little garden of caraway. It is bed number 26, and it is pretty much put to bed. I might just put some extra mulch on here for the winter and then call it done. So it's done producing. Even if these do manage to flower, if we have a long summer, if the summer drags out for whatever reason, which it might because the lake is extra warm. I'm between Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. So even though I'm not directly near the lake, it's quite a few miles away, we still get that benefit of some of the heat. So I'm hoping for that, and then that'll keep us going. It also gives us a lot of the moisture that we need to. Although right now, officially, we are in a moderate drought, or a drought watch, which means I can still use my water as much as I want, but I'm going to try to use my rain barrel water more. It's more problematic for people that have wells. I'm on a city system. My water actually comes from the lake, from Lake Erie. There's intakes in the lake. So we usually don't run out of water ever, but we should be courteous to the rest of the people that are downstream and to the people that are relying on wells. You go that way just 10 miles and people have wells because the water systems haven't gotten out there yet. But that's not really important. I do live in a town. I do have, grocery stores and stuff near me. So, but things like this, caraway seeds. I mean, if you've seen what a bottle of caraway seeds cost, there's a bottle right there in my hand. And these were grown organically. I grew them. I can come out here and taste them. If I forget to grow them, they will still grow. I just have to manage the bed to keep the weeds pressure down, which is something that I actually love to do. I love coming out here. I mean, I could sit here and pick out weeds all day. It's a little harder with just my left hand. But this is funny. In my teen years, I had learned about people being ambidextrous. And I thought, that's cool. I want to learn that. My mom says, you can't learn to be ambidextrous. And I kind of chalked it up as it's anything that you just need to practice. So I can somewhat write my name with my left hand. I can do a lot of things with my left hand. I like to practice just using my left hand. Kathleen Madigan is a comedian, and she did this thing about her brothers and being successful and her siblings being successful. And they're saying, well, Kathleen, what are you doing? And she goes, I'm learning to write it with my left hand in case I have a stroke someday so I can sign the checks. For some reason, that just struck me as funny. Sometimes you don't remember certain jokes, and sometimes they just stick with you for a lifetime. So that one has stuck with me for a lifetime. And I just always thought that was so funny. I'm learning to write with my left hand, so, I can still sign the checks. But right now, it's coming in handy. This was a classic move. I was making a bed. Yeah. And I kneeled on my own hand. And something went crunch. And I didn't break anything, but I apparently pulled something. And then for the next 5 days, we went camping. And I just kept using it and hurting it and using it and hurting it. And the doc says, leave it alone for 2 weeks. So that's what I'm doing right now. And it's hard to do because this thing's in my way all the time, and I can't grasp things the way I like to. But you know what? It's just a minor setback. I will be fine. Don't worry about me. Some people have it a lot harder than I do. So this is just a minor setback. So, well, happy gardening. Sorry, I shouldn't have gone on a dark note. Maybe I'll cut this out. So happy gardening. This is my biennial caraway that has been anything but biennial. This is how I kind of maintain it every year. Last spring, it was really overgrown when I first got here because I had ignored it all last summer. I didn't take care of it. And hopefully now that I'm back in business and taking care of my gardens, I will be able to get to all of this and keep it up. Because 90% of gardening is just trying to maintain what you have. It's trying to, because the universal law is that weeds grow faster than your cultivated plants. And the reason is because your cultivated plants have been babied. People want to grow them for whatever reason. I want to grow this for its caraway seeds and its flavor. And because of that, it grows a little slower. It didn't have to compete with the weeds because somebody was taking care of it. At least that's the theory I have, and I'm sticking to it. If it's wrong, it's wrong. But weeds do grow faster because they're trying to outcompete, and they figure somebody's going to pull them soon or eat them, and they need to survive. So this is the way that our cultivated plants are like, hey, I can sit back. I can be, a plant of leisure, and that's why we have to take care of them. They're big babies. They really are big babies. But unfortunately, they are never going to be big plants unless we take care of them. So, and when they become big plants, they give us the fruits and vegetables and herbs and flowers and pollinators that we want. So, and that's why I grow them, for those reasons. All right. Have happy gardening. Take care of yourself. Bye.